The topic is video game ratings and how it relates to the freedom of speech.
Oh! Video game ever rated was Mortal Kombat in 1994, and it was rated MA-13 for mature audiences only.
Hold on, Alex. Stop. Hey! Okay, so our context is minor versus adult, and how you can get E to M rated games. And the funny thing is
That you're pushing Mongo.
the funny thing is that M rated games really are only played by minors, and adults have to pay for them, but they can't.
Okay, I understand this week. Hey, Mac, come on, why?
How do you feel about video game ratings?
I think video game ratings are a good idea
Why?
because it lets parents know possibly what their kids are going to be experiencing when they play the game.
So
The
you
amount of violence or other things that they may want to know about.
So you like having to go out and buy a game for your kid?
I don't mind having to be part of the process of buying video games that have mature content in them.
Okay. Would you be okay with your kid going out and buying his own mature-rated video game if you knew what the game was about?
No, I think it's a good idea. If it's just like an R-rated movie, I think parents need to be involved. So that means they have to go out with the child and buy the game for them. I think that's fine. It's a good control on what they're getting involved in.
So, in conclusion, you like having the video game ratings on the games because it allows you, the parent, to have more control over what your kids are playing. And would you agree with the statement that it's really necessarily up to the parents what the kids should be playing, not the government's ratings?
I think the ratings are provided by the game makers, the guys that put the games together, and I think it's a good idea that they do rate the game so that parents get some sense of what violence or whatever are going on in the games. They get some understanding of what they're buying for their child.
Stop.
Thank you.
You're in the middle.
So, the primary game that we used for this project was Skate 2, which is rated T for teenagers, because we can't show mature content in civics class, even though it's like my favorite place in the world. But you can't show it in there according to school rules. So we showed a T game, which is rated teen for alcohol references, language, mild violence, and suggestive themes. And all of these things are in the career mode. They're not in the free play. And we had a debate amongst the three of us of what age you should be allowed to buy M games, and we settled on 12.
And we used Skate 2 instead of Call of Duty because Call of Duty has blood and gore, and Skate 2 does not show realistic violence, even though like it's pretty much the same thing. But just because of the realisticness of Modern Warfare, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3, we couldn't show that because it's rated M.
Our Supreme Court case was Brown versus Entertainment Merchants Association. In 2005, California made a law that said all violent video games had to be rated X, and it was a felony for anyone to sell those games to someone under the age of 18. It's connected to our project because the Supreme Court ruled that law was unconstitutional, and you can't restrict video games even if they are violent because it's still free speech. We took that to mean that the rating that is implemented now is also unconstitutional because it restricts who can play them at what time. It's similar to movie ratings. If someone who was underage wanted to go see an R-rated movie, they wouldn't be able to do it. And even though the movie's probably going to be playing in a month on TV and they can watch it then, they still can't see it in the theater. So it's really up to the parents if the kid is allowed to see the movie, and it's same for M-rated video games. So our conclusion is that the ratings on games are unconstitutional, and it's an easy way for lazy parents to not let their kids play video games. We would know that. Every time we go buy an M-rated game, we have to take a parent with us so they can get it for us, even though we're mature enough to know that everything in these games is not real. It's totally fictional.
No Pokemon were harmed in the making of this film.